Hi, welcome back. So last week, it was only just a week ago, last week I was talking about this setup and making kind of feedback drone tones, and so there's that video there that you can go and watch if you want to catch up and before this latest installment of feedback tone drones, because I'm doing more. I'm really falling in love with this whole setup. And last week the poor old Manis was left all alone. It wasn't patched, it wasn't put into the patch, and since then, like, all of this is a whole new patch. It's got some very similar characteristics to last week, like using the joystick to be able to open up the atom, which is a mutable instruments elements clone, and using the resonator side of that and the brightness to kind of simulate, or well, it does, it actually creates those kind of crazy feedback tones. But this patch started off with the idea of, can I just like overload the Manis with modulation from the Sloths and use that as my complex sound source going into the atom, and then I just kind of kept on building everything from there. So I've built actually 3 tracks. I really kind of got into this setup. I built 3 tracks that serve as kind of like a little EP, as a bit of a journey through, instead of kind of recording one big long massive journey. The idea is 3 smaller tracks for you to explore, and so that link's here, or it's in the description. You can go and check that out and see what that looks like. But I just wanted to kind of, again, just take you through the patch, what I'm doing, some stuff that I'm doing over here in the Tonverk, which I just keep on. So I'm at a point with this where I'm almost kind of locked into a process, and I'm at that stage where I'm sort of questioning, okay, is that the right process? Is that something else? So I'll take you through what's going on in there, but just loving the flexibility of being able to record this into that and layering bits and other stuff. So let's get over and have a listen to what's going on with the Manis. So if you've never seen the Sloths is built by NonLinear Circuits, and what it has is it has 3 channels of kind of related CV outputs. So there's apathy, inertia, and torpor, and I think that inertia is the slowest, torpor's the fastest, and apathy's kind of in the middle there. And there's a great video on how it works, and I'll try and remember to link that in the description. It just kind of goes through and actually shows you the CV outputs and it's like these X, Y, and Z outputs here. They kind of spiral around each other, so they're interrelated but not the same. And so it's how it's feeling to me is it's like it's making this breathe. So as I'm patching this, I'm not, because these 2 knobs don't control the speed of it, they just control the relationships between each of the X, Y, and Z outputs, as opposed to something like a traditional, LFO, where you actually have the speed control. This one's got horizontal symmetry and cross modulation as well, but that's not, it's kind of like you get what you get and you don't get upset. and it's cool. It's good. It almost sort of takes a creative decision out of it. How fast am I making the LFO? What shape am I using, etc., etc. It's like just patch it and let it do what it's going to do. And I really dig that idea in my creative process generally, which is, where's the magic for me? You know, like I guess, you know, you listen to other people's music or experience other people's art or creative outputs, and you go, wow, that's really cool. And with this, maybe this sort of assumption that the person that's making it knows what's going on. And for me, this creative process is all about discovery. It's all about surprise. It's all about, oh, what's going to happen if I do this and then that. I'm most definitely not a sit down and carefully sculpt it. I'm kind of sit down, patch something up and see what the hell happens. And that's been a process, it's a journey of my creative life, I guess, to be able to accept that of myself and be able to go, yeah, that's the fun bit. That's the thing that I do for this, is just to kind of see what's going to happen and where it's going to go and how the machines speak to me. And so something like Sloths is really fun to be able to do that, because it does take those creative decisions out a little bit, and you just kind of patch it and see what happens. And so it feels like it's this, you know, living, breathing, organic aspect to this. So you can see from this that I've just pretty much patched everything into the Manis. And if you haven't come across the Manis before, it's, I don't know how you would, well, I guess if you look at the noise engineering description, it would describe it. But it's kind of like this complex oscillator that's got extra kind of modulations. It's got this profundity which kind of stacks voices. It gets crazy really quickly. But the two things that I really like, besides it's just general sounds, and what comes out of it, is that it's got a built-in low-pass filter. Hooray! So what I've got is the X value of that being mapped from the joystick to be able to open and close that filter. And the other kind of cool thing that they've done with these, and it's the same with the Bassimilus and a few of their others, is they've got this envelope knob. And when the envelope is all the way down, it's obviously a very kind of short envelope, and it's got a bit of noise in it. And then as you open it up, the envelope gets longer, but there's a point where you get past it and it just drones, and that's what I've been playing with. So let's just turn this one down, because that's just plats into QPAS, and let's go and have a listen to what Manis is doing. And like, again, I don't know what it's doing, because it's really down to what these guys are doing as to what Manis is doing. So let's jump over and have a listen. Now the effects chain is, you can see this is going into channel 3. And so again, with channel 3, I've got the built-in delay from the bluebox and also the clouds reverb going on here. So that's that. But then the whole output of the bluebox is coming out and is coming around into the Tonverk. And I've got that coming into track 8. And I've got this going out to bus 1, which has got a compressor on it for side chaining fun. And then there's a scratch on my Tonverk. And then I've also got it sending, so this first send here is a filter folder, because again I was really playing with that amp emulator type tones, that kind of really overdriven sort of sound, and then it's also going into a bit of reverb. So that's everything that you're hearing here. And then this guy again is opening the filter of the Manis. And then the other thing that the X is doing is opening the gate on the atom, on the elements clone, to kind of start sending it into the resonator for those feedback tones. So as I kick this open, you can see that that's opening up. You can see that I've got that coming in as a separate input on channel 5 as a stereo input, and then as we open this is simultaneously opening the filter and increasing the brightness of the resonator. Everything that you're hearing here, all the modulation is just coming from the Sloths. So this doing its thing is this doing that. That's a bit of fun, isn't it? And so one of the things I did do was I've recorded a little snippet of that over into the Tonverk, into track 5 here. And it's been a lot of fun because I think I've spoken about this in a few other videos, just the idea of being able to use the spread functionality of the filter, being able to turn this, which is essentially a mono voice, into a polyphonic voice over here, and also being able to play guess chords in that. I do have on the first page of this, I've got a trig, but I've got it set to 55. Let's turn it up to 100 so that it will play. And then let's listen to that and then bring this in. So you just get this really crazy kind of stereo spread stuff going on, because up in the mod section I've got an LFO going, it's kind of slow but it's doing the filter spread, and I've got a random wave with maximum slew, so it's giving me this kind of smooth random that's doing the filter spread. And then I've also got an LFO doing the same kind of the same shape, and yeah, it's, well, sorry, I'm in the wrong. Yeah, so same random wave slew, a lot slower, a fair amount of depth, and so it's opening and closing the filter. And so knowing that that's playing, and then being able to do that, and then just getting these crazy sort of stereo, wide stereo movements happening. And again, like with the effects, little bit of into the filter folder, lots of delay, lots of reverb, and that's giving it that space. The other thing that I've got kind of patched up in here is the dust of time and the scanned. We'll get to the Plaits and the QPAS in a second. These two I've got patched with the same trigger. And last video I said, oh, there's no MIDI. I was just only syncing the bluebox delay with the MIDI. But the dust of time does have MIDI. And what I've done in here is I've got MIDI out from track 8. Just mute that. I've got MIDI out from track 8 going into the dust of time to be able to trigger it. But I've also taken the MIDI gate out from here and malted it over into here, which enables me to trigger both the scanned and the Manis at the same time. So it'll do dust of time, the scanned and the Manis for this kind of one big super crazy voice. But with the scanned, I've got it going in through the Viol Ruina, which is being controlled by the Y of the, so if I bring this up, you're hearing a bit of the scan because I'm opening up the filter there. And then I've got that also malted. It's coming out and it's going into channel 2 all by itself, but I also have it malted going directly into the resonator of the Atom. But if I open that up a bit, and I've got the dust of time going, and I've got the Manis, and I hit a key, so that's fun. Being able to trigger from here. I haven't sequenced it, I haven't kind of played with sequencing, but it's just nice to have a little kind of physical, I'm going to trigger this thing. Because you can set this just to sort of drone, but yeah, I really sort of did some menu diving and worked out how to kind of make everything work, and built-in envelopes and amp and everything. There's so much going on in here, and then also being able to route some of that MIDI control, so it becomes kind of like a MIDI gateway for everything in here. yeah, and so then the last bit is just Plaits. Plaits is in drone mode. I've got Plaits going into the QPAS. Again, some sloths happening for some randomness, and then just letting it do its thing as just like a base drone layer. Be interested in, and I mean, you know, like it's a pretty obvious sort of technique. One of the things that I've been finding, because I'm really on this journey of finding the mega kicks and sort of mega kick drums, and one of the things that I've done with sorry, turning that down. Oh, we can just leave that going. With making a kick was I started track 1 out as a subtracks, and I loaded 3 different kick drums into each of the subtracks, and then used the tools, used the sound shaping tools inside the Tonverk for each of the different kick drums, and essentially created this layer and then resampled that in. And so this kick here that I've affectionately called MEGAKICK 01 is the result of that. And that's kind of was really fun, because I was finding that I wasn't just getting that big beefy kick, because the other part of the kick is also having the sidechain compressor that's ducking anything else that's sort of happening in the system. And I don't ever want to kind of go 100%, because it's like, especially if you've got something that's got like a longer decay, you just end up compressing everything else into this tiny little anemic thing. So being able to have a kind of a fast release to letting things kind of come back up is important. So there's this bit where I want the kick to be loud and aggressive, and I want to enable it to, you know, do some side chaining, but at the same time I kind of want those frequencies just to sort of punch through as well as the side chain, so it's not just the side chaining that's giving the kick in the space. So if we kind of get something going. like this kind of really obvious kind of volume duck, but it does just let the kick have a bit of room in the space. And then it's the same with what the rumble is doing, because the rumble's the same sound on this one, a slightly different pattern, so it's a 4 on the floor pattern compared to this one, which has got a whole heap of kind of randoms. So sometimes it'll do a triple kick, sometimes it'll just do one here, sometimes it'll just do that one. These have all got probability on them. So and so track 2 again is going into bus 1, so it's being sidechained by the primary kit. Yeah, that's kind of it. You know, like I've got a grainer on 4 that's doing some kind of weird vocal stuff. I've got my percussion happening on 3, so I've got a snare, and then I've got this little weird clicky random Cool. Hey, thanks for playing along today. That was fun. Check out the tracks, go and have a listen. Same, like, subscribe. Does anyone ring the bell? Hey, random little conversation. People do dislike this stuff. Like, I've noticed that, you know, you see the stats, but people click thumbs down. So I don't know. Tell me what I can do better. I'm I'm working on the production. Do you hate the sound of my voice? Is it just like, oh dude, I'm just having a bad day and so I'm just going to hit dislike? I don't think I've ever clicked a thumbs down on a YouTube video. I mean, you know, like if someone's posting something and putting it up, they're good on them. It doesn't matter if it's not, I don't know, the best. If there's a better technique, if people go, oh dude, you're doing your rumble's wrong, I'm like, tell me. Like, I watch a lot of videos to be able to refine that. Tell me. Give me some constructive criticism. Something more than a thumbs down. That's my rant for today. Be cool out there. Thank you. See ya.